just been amazing, because I think what's going to happen is that people who can stay on the back of this tiger are going to make it through to a whole new level, and those who can't are going to fall off. And this is the dragon or the tiger of a new era emerging out of the old. And so those who are wedded to the old ways and the old consciousness will probably be consumed by it. And those who attach to the new vision and are propelled forward into the future by it will be part of that. So there are two processes going on simultaneously. There's the collapse of the old order, which is collapsing all around us. So if you're tied in heavily to that, you're going to have to learn detachment. However, if you're attached to a new vision and this whole new era of universal consciousness, universal peace, free energy technology, then that's the wave to be ridden. And some people will be able to stay on the crest of that wave and some won't. But I don't know if I'm being too blunt, but I tend to be direct, as you know. But that's just the way it is. And that's the way all big changes happen. And I think that if you look over the last 100 years, we've been attempting as a society to emerge, because it's been 100 years that we've had potential for free energy, for anti-gravity. I mean, T. Townsend Brown was first doing his high-voltage anti-gravity lifter stuff in 1927, 28, 29. I mean, you know, that's 80, 90 years ago, Paula. So here we sit, you know, in the dinosaur era of fossil fuels and coal, fracking and all this nonsense, which we don't need. But, of course, it's lucrative, and it's trillions of dollars in assets. And so, you know, this is the big struggle, is what is going to be the vision of the future? Is it Mad Max under the Thunderdome, where everyone's fighting and killing over the last barrel of oil as we melt both polar ice caps and breathe more polluted air and everyone gets cancer and dies? Or is it another vision? So you can be part of the old or you can be part of the new. Now, over the last 100 years, unfortunately, of course, the power centers have held, which are financial, economic, technology. The new are trying to emerge, but they keep getting kind of cut down. And that's why it can't be done by a lone wolf. And, this is why I tell people about the only thing I can do is be the cosmic Johnny Appleseed and spread all this and hope a lot of things sprout and people come up, because we really can't do this with one or two people. It has to become something where it's a global awakening. It's like the Arab Spring, but it's got to be the global spring and a global awakening where everyone awakens to this and gets behind a whole new vision. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this film series. It's something that, eventually we want to have it come out with subtitles and what have you, so in various languages it can be seen and understood. So that, and on the Internet, because, 5 or 10 years ago, Paula, we couldn't do this. We couldn't have put out a movie that, unless you make it through some big distributor who has a chokehold on movie theaters or something, no one would see it. Now, there are many hosting sites where you can have what's called video on demand. And for, a couple bucks, you can see it. You don't even have to go to a theater. You can see it on your big screen computer TV, or you can see it on your smartphone, or you can see it in India or China or anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So there's a possibility for the new media is enabling a level of disclosure, if you will, that if we utilize it properly, that wasn't possible 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. And that, to me, is very exciting because, the days where you had to go through a big publisher that had a distribution agreement with Barnes & Noble and a brick-and-mortar store, that's gone with the wind. Same thing with movies in Hollywood. So the independent, I'm going to be at Sundance, by the way, those of you listening who want to join me, on the 23rd of January, I'm going to be hosting a reception and showing a trailer for the film Sirius in Sundance at Cicero's on Main Street. And it's exciting because the Foo Fighters and Dave Grohl will be there also at Sundance this year. And, of course, as you all know, the Foo Fighters are a big rock band, but the word Foo Fighter is what was used for UFOs in World War II, and Dave Grohl is very interested in the UFO subject. And he's also doing the keynote address at South by Southwest in Austin, which is a film festival and technology festival, which we also hope to be at with the film Sirius in March. So, but if you want to join us at Sundance, those of you who will be there or in the area in Salt Lake, we're going to be there at you can sign up for the details for that at disclosureproject.org and see what we're doing. But it's a reception, and we'll be doing a trailer, and we'll have the Hollywood press there, and our publicist is working on getting a lot of the media there between 5 and 7 at Cicero's on Main Street in Park City, Utah on January 23rd. So that should be really exciting. And so we're trying to begin to create an awareness about the film even now. Now, of course, we don't have, what's called prints and advertising for films. If you come out with a big feature film in Hollywood that costs $100 million, they usually spend another $100 million in advertising. We don't have that. So it's mostly going to be word of mouth and a very modest effort. But we're going to do what we can, and I think a lot of it is going to be by people spreading the word virally through Twitter and Facebook and their email address books, and just getting the word out. So
I think it already has the people, and even some people in Europe that follow you already have asked me about the film and so forth. And I think that there's something called the ripple effect, and it just naturally happen with this film.
Oh, it will. And, already, we have people like there's a very renowned New York best-selling author that has included the Disclosure Project in some of his novels named Stephen Alton, and he reached out to us a week or two ago right before Christmas. And Michael Short, who does a lot with the Communities of Peace at the United Nations, is hosting things now on his networks about it. It just continues to grow and grow and grow. And it's really very exciting. So I see 2013 being a big year of increasing awareness on the subject, and we have formed a research group so that if people, as they find out about this, if they want to support the creation of a free energy lab, we're going to be able to do that. It's formed, and we already have some significant commitments that we're hoping will come through in 2013 to do that, because ultimately what I'd like to see us do, we the people do, is bypass the government and the corporations and form our own not only UFO research effort that's properly supported, but also these new energy environmental technologies where we basically, instead of it being in a secret underground skunk works, is in a laboratory that's being streamed live on the internet, so that there are millions of people seeing the work we're doing. And if any thugs come in to try to shut down our research, the whole world's watching. And I think that people have to understand that that's something that couldn't have been done 10 years ago that can be done now. And so there are a lot of strategies we have for bringing this information and these sciences and technologies out, because the big mistake that most of these researchers have done is they get one thing that comes at them that scares them, and then they do everything secretively. Well, that's what these game players want you to do. Whereas my response is to, frankly, have a big mouth and tell everyone if someone makes a threat towards me or my group. Or if you do something in plain sight, which is what we've done in the last 10 years, where you have millions of people, hundreds of millions of people who saw the Disclosure Project event and launched this whole global disclosure effort worldwide, it's very hard for them to come in and make a move against you when there are millions of people watching. Well, now we need to do that with more of this research and science and technology, and that's what we plan to do in 2013.
Well, it sounds exciting, and I'm so glad to be part of it. Dr. Greer, thank you.
Well, I'm glad you are. You've done so much wonderful work in your career of this, and also in helping us with gathering material and evidence. And to everyone, by the way, who has been providing evidence and materials for this film, keep in mind we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of stuff, and there's a 2-hour film we're doing. So literally only a tiny fraction of what we have can be used. But the whole idea behind Sirius is that it's almost like a pilot introduction for things that we want to create that will be coming in down the road that will go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into this, and will continue to sort of have this, what you call ripple effect, Paula, and we'll get out there and including the concept of peaceful contact like you did with your friend in the Sardinia. By the way, those of you who want to come, there's a beautiful island in the Gulf of Mexico. If you get tired of the cold and the dreary, which I already am here in Virginia, we're going to be on this island, Marco Island, in southwest Florida in the Gulf of Mexico in February, the 2nd through the 9th, I believe it is. And we're going to be doing this contact protocol with, 15 or 20 people. It's a small group. Under the stars, and we have a private state beach that we have reserved for our use at night, and we have had just amazing contact there in the last couple of years. So it's a training. We'll be training people in meditation, remote viewing, and the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind initiative. And those of you who want to join us, there's still a few places open. So you can find out about that at cseti.org or etcontactnow.com, and we will, just let us know if you want to try to make it to that. It's going to be in February, and it's about the warmest and nicest place in the United States that time of year, so it should be great.
Well, I'd like to join you again in Crestone. I was really mind blown, if I can use that term, especially with all the things that happened in Crestone. So this year in June, I'm not making any plans because I'd love to be with you again there.
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah, we're planning to do that in June of 2013. And, I have a little bit of land there. Of course, Paula, you've been there.
Yeah.
And it's in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains and the San Juan Valley, and there's so many. The first night the filmmaker was out over us, a disc flew right over that then tried to be intercepted by a jet, and then it dematerialized right above us. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was witness to that, and it actually changes a person to be in that kind of atmosphere. I mean, I came home and my biorhythms were different. I thought it was amazing, and I thank you for that effort.
Well, you're welcome. I'm so glad you could be there. You were a really great addition to the team. And, because we spend, the day and night. It's a pretty intensive program, but it's very deep into consciousness and meditation and teaching people that all these interstellar civilizations are going through frequencies and other dimensions faster than the speed of light, which means that thought is one of those frequencies. And once you understand that, and that the key is the science of consciousness, and on the World Puja Network I can really talk about this, that's really where the magic happens. And once you understand that, making contact becomes really simple.
Yeah, well, I wish you a very happy 2013, because I think it's going to be exciting. We're all in this together, and I think that all your work is really appreciated, especially all over the world. I thank you very much.
Well, thank you
Dr.
for sharing your experiences in Europe, and anything we can do to help with the initiative at the European Parliament or anything else, let me know. And I'm happy to actually send a care package to your friend who's in the Parliament there of all this evidence we have, if he'd like that, and just be in touch with me and we can make that happen.
Yeah, that's one of my plans. That's definitely something we're going to do.
Great. Well, again, I'd like to thank the folks at the World Puja Network for hosting us. The hour went by quickly, and thank you, Paula, for your help. Paula Harris has been with us for this hour at the World Puja Network. And until next time, keep looking up, and God bless.